Let's start with the obvious. The anglerfish is not winning any beauty contests, as it is the ugliest fish ever existed. In fact, it's more likely to star in a horror movie than grace the cover of a marine life magazine. With its gaping mouth lined with rows of razor-sharp teeth, its bulging, unblinking eyes that seem to stare into the void, and its gelatinous blob-like body that looks like it was sculpted by someone with a grudge against symmetry, its bizarre, almost alien appearance is enough to make even the most seasoned deep-sea explorers do a double-take. But as unsettling as its looks may be, they're just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to the anglerfish's problems. Beneath its grotesque exterior lies a life filled with challenges, hardships, and evolutionary trade-offs that make its existence a constant struggle for survival. The anglerfish lives in the deep sea, one of the most inhospitable and extreme environments on Earth, a place so alien and unforgiving that it feels more like another planet than part of our own. Here, in the crushing depths where sunlight never reaches, the pressure is immense, reaching levels that would flatten most living creatures into oblivion. The temperature hovers just above freezing, creating a cold, lifeless void that saps energy and slows movement. Food is scarce, scattered unpredictably across the vast dark expanse, forcing the anglerfish to survive on whatever morsels it can find. For an anglerfish, every day is a relentless struggle to locate enough to eat, a constant battle against starvation in a world where meals are few and far between. And when you're not eating, you're trying not to be eaten, always on edge, always vulnerable to the larger predators that lurk in the shadows, ready to turn you into their next meal. It's a life of perpetual tension where survival is never guaranteed and every moment is a test of endurance. To survive in this harsh and unforgiving environment, the anglerfish has evolved one of the most unique and fascinating hunting strategies in the animal kingdom. It uses a bioluminescent lure to attract unsuspecting prey. This glowing appendage, which dangles like a sinister fishing rod from its head, is actually a modified spine filled with light-producing bacteria that create an eerie, otherworldly glow in the pitch-black depths. It's a clever and ingenious adaptation, a beacon of hope in the darkness that draws curious creatures closer, only to seal their fate in the anglerfish's gaping jaws. But while this glowing lure is a marvel of evolution, it comes with its own set of challenges. Maintaining the bacteria that produce the light requires energy and resources, which are already in short supply in the deep sea. If the bacteria die or the lure is damaged, the anglerfish loses its primary tool for hunting, leaving it even more vulnerable in an environment where every advantage is critical. It's a delicate balance, one that underscores the constant struggle of life in the deep. The lure is effective, but it's not foolproof. Prey can be scarce in the deep sea, and the anglerfish often goes long periods without eating. When it does catch something, it has to make the most of it. Its stomach is highly elastic, allowing it to swallow prey much larger than itself. But this also means it can't be picky. If it catches something toxic or indigestible, it has no choice but to eat it anyway. Another disadvantage of the anglerfish's lifestyle is its lack of mobility. Its body is not built for speed or agility. Instead, it floats passively in the water, conserving energy. This makes it vulnerable to predators, which can easily outmaneuver it. And if it's caught, it has few defenses. Its only real option is to rely on its camouflage and hope it goes unnoticed. Camouflage is one of the anglerfish's few advantages. Its dark, mottled skin helps it blend into the shadows of the deep sea, but even this is a double-edged sword. While it helps the anglerfish avoid predators, it also makes it harder for potential mates to find each other. And when you're an anglerfish, finding a mate is no easy task. Speaking of mates, let's talk about the anglerfish's bizarre reproductive strategy. In most species, males and females are roughly the same size. But in anglerfish, the male is a fraction of the size of the female. And his role in reproduction is, well, let's just say it's not glamorous. When a male anglerfish finds a female, he bites into her skin and never lets go. Over time, his body fuses with hers and he becomes a permanent parasite. His eyes, fins, and internal organs atrophy, leaving him as little more than a sperm-producing appendage. For the male, this is the end of his independence. For the female, it's a lifelong burden. She must now provide for both herself and her mate, which is no small feat in the resource-scarce deep sea. In some species, a single female may have multiple males attached to her body. This ensures that she always has a ready supply of sperm when she's ready to reproduce, but it also means she has to support an entire harem of males, each one draining her resources. It's a heavy price to pay for reproductive success. When the time comes to reproduce, the female releases her eggs into the water. The eggs float to the surface where they hatch into larvae. This is the only time in an anglerfish's life when it experiences sunlight. But this brief moment of brightness is short-lived. As the larvae grow, they sink back into the darkness of the deep sea, where they will spend the rest of their lives. Life as an anglerfish larva is no picnic. It's a perilous journey through one of the most dangerous stages of existence in the ocean. Freshly hatched and barely the size of a grain of rice, these tiny larvae are small, fragile, and utterly defenseless, drifting aimlessly in the vast, open waters where danger lurks at every turn. They are easy prey for larger predators, from hungry fish to opportunistic invertebrates, and their survival hinges on sheer luck and the slim chance of avoiding detection. Out of the thousands of eggs released by a female anglerfish, only a tiny fraction of larvae will make it through this gauntlet of threats to reach adulthood. And even for those few who beat the odds and survive, their troubles are far from over. Adulthood in the deep sea brings its own set of challenges: scarcity of food, the constant threat of predators, and the daunting task of finding a mate in the endless, lightless expanse. For an anglerfish, life is a relentless series of hurdles, and the struggle never truly ends. As adults, anglerfish lead solitary lives. They spend most of their time floating in the darkness, waiting for prey to come within reach of their lure. It's a lonely existence with little social interaction, and for the males, it's even worse. Their entire lives revolve around finding a female and fusing to her body. Once they do, they lose all autonomy and become little more than a reproductive organ. Even the anglerfish's glowing lure, its most iconic feature, is a source of trouble. The bacteria that produce the light require a constant supply of nutrients, which the anglerfish must provide. If the bacteria die, the lure goes dark, and the anglerfish loses its primary hunting tool. In the deep sea, where food is scarce, this can be a death sentence. And then there's the issue of the anglerfish's teeth. Its sharp, needle-like teeth are perfect for snagging prey, but they are also brittle and prone to breaking. Unlike humans, who can grow new teeth, the anglerfish has no way to repair or replace damaged teeth. Over time, its teeth wear down, making it harder and harder to catch prey. As the anglerfish ages, its ability to hunt diminishes. It becomes weaker, slower, and less effective at catching prey. Eventually, it may starve to death, unable to feed itself. It's a grim end to an already difficult life. Of course, starvation isn't the only threat the anglerfish faces. It also has to contend with predators. Larger fish, deep sea sharks, and even other anglerfish may see it as a potential meal. With its slow movements and lack of defenses, the anglerfish is an easy target. Its only hope is to remain hidden in the darkness, relying on its camouflage to stay safe. Over time, the anglerfish's body becomes a map of its struggles. Scars from close encounters with predators, broken teeth from failed hunts, and the constant strain of living in the deep sea all take their toll. It's a hard life, and one that few creatures could endure. In the end, the anglerfish's life is a testament to the harshness of the deep sea. It's a world where survival is a daily battle, where every advantage comes with a cost, and where the line between life and death is razor thin. For the anglerfish, existence is a series of challenges, each one more difficult than the last. And while it is adapted to its environment in remarkable ways, it's hard not to feel a sense of pity for this strange, unfortunate creature. So, why does it suck to be born as an anglerfish? It's not just the ugliness, the loneliness, or the constant struggle for survival. It's the fact that every aspect of its life is shaped by the unforgiving environment it calls home. The anglerfish is a product of the deep sea, a creature forged by darkness and pressure, scarcity and danger. And while it may be a marvel of evolution, it's also a reminder of how cruel and unforgiving nature can be. For the anglerfish, life is a series of compromises, each one more difficult than the last, and in the end, it's a life that few would envy. Thank you for joining us on this journey into the depths of the ocean and into the life of one of its most fascinating and unfortunate inhabitants. Until next time, remember, no matter how tough life gets, at least you're not an anglerfish.